funny. I actually feel kind of bad because I don't know that the top fives are as good as what you guys have been doing with the sports calls. So I'm gonna get Brent to set up all my slides and get all my transitions good, and just have him revamp what I do. Because if y'all are not watching the Gag on These Balls podcast, you are missing out. Having said that, I want to thank everybody for. He got his headphones. Okay, see, okay, they got.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
I feel like they do this intentionally, just to mess with me. It's okay. It's all right. They got to look at a room full of Superman, so
It's only fair.
it's only fair. I cannot be upset. Room full of Superman.
There we
Thank
go.
you, Will.
Hold
So,
on.
but if we playing those games,
Ah, my hat. Where'd he go?
I don't know. I think somebody a little salty.
Oh, so
I was just trying to match the
okay.
the background.
I'm at the very least, I'm not
Wait
gonna
a
run
minute.
up and get a whole shirt, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you have to wear. We have a member that wanted you to wear your fuzzy Superman hat. I specifically remember that.
you mean Batman?
Yes, yeah, it would be a Batman hat.
Mm-hmm.
But
You mean
yes,
this
she
one?
wanted you. That's the one. She wanted that hat. And
I need a comment on the videos if they want this to be worn.
all right, I will put that out there. So if you want to see Tony wear that fuzzy Batman hat,
Just know that hat is hot, and I will need a fan.
you know what? And we'll see about next call David's on. I'm gonna get him to wear his lizard hat. See if we can
That
make
was
that
hilarious.
happen.
And just so y'all know, I deleted that video after I sent it to y'all. Nobody else could see it. It was only for us. If you didn't see the stream of him doing it, you just missed it. You're not getting it from me.
I
It was for
wonder if
us only.
you know what? I wonder if that is actually up on his Twitch channel.
I don't
I
know.
will make it a point to check that. But we are here tonight doing our top five. We're back with a top five series. Tonight's theme is sci-fi. We're here to talk about sci-fi. Top five sci-fi. Now, what's really interesting about this one, we had a little bit of a powwow earlier, and it's looking like we might have some carryover on this one. We may have some back and forth. We may kind of run together, and things might just kind of, they'll just kind of be there.
Okay.
And so, says, you know what? I'm not doing this with y'all.
Do you know what's going on? I have no idea.
And the funny part is, like, no, let me tell you something. Every time Will does this to me all the time, he gets me caught up in this tit for tat, and he takes a picture of a shirt, I take a picture of a shirt, then it's a mug, I got a mug. I whip out a trash can, he whips out a toaster, and it goes back and forth, and it takes forever. So we're not doing that.
Okay.
We go talk about this top five sci-fi, and Will, you're supposed to be moderating, not adding to the dysfunction and allow me to be distracted.
My name is Chaos for a reason. I don't know why anything different.
Unruly chaos on top of that. Okay.
And my nickname was Psycho. You don't think I'm gonna cause some trouble? Come on now, play.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
So either way, we're about to get into this top five with sci-fi. Am I correct? So with that, so
You're
Yes.
correct.
got
you
going
are
on.
correct with that.
All right. So with this sci-fi, do we have any parameters? Just straight sci-fi movies with anything having to do with, space, futuristic, comic books, all that kind of stuff?
Just sci-fi.
It's just sci-fi.
Gonna encompass everything.
All right. All right. So how are we gonna run this? We're gonna run this Sam, Dunesia, and then Tony.
It's however you want to do it, moderator.
I don't like being in charge. This is not.
You
fun.
have to. I see
This
that.
takes all the fun out of everything from me. So at that.
Hey, what's that right there?
So this. So all right, freaking Sam. Assume you've got your list and stuff together. You're gonna kick us off here.
Alrighty, I can do that. We were kind of talking, and we know the very first one that I'm going to throw out there because if we're talking sci-fi,
Talk about garbage.
Star Wars. And to simplify, I'm going to say the Star Wars franchise because there's a handful of movies, not all of them make the cut. Anything outside of the original trilogy gets real touchy, real iffy. If
Agreed.
there was specifically one, Episode 5 is kind of universally regarded as the best. Empire Strikes Back is without a doubt, especially for the grown A geeks. That original trilogy is, they could have left that alone. If it was just those three, we'd have been good. Star
Yeah.
Wars, Empire, Return. That would have been enough. They did the prequels. That got a little interesting with the prequels. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Okay, I'm kind of feeling that one. That one's not bad. These new ones.
We didn't need them.
So we're not even gonna talk about the new ones. I don't want to have that conversation tonight. So
So Star
Is-
Wars Episode 5. That's your. Yeah, if you picked one out of the original trilogy.
That's Empire Strike Back. Between Empire, New Hope, and Return is Empire.
and I would say in that order:
Yeah.
Empire, New Hope, Return.
Yeah.
And let's see.
I have no problem with that entry since we specified the original first three.
Now, universally loved, and like I said, because it is perhaps the one that one actually has a 94% Rotten Tomatoes, 97% audience score. That is the one. All of everything that's good about Star Wars is in that movie.
Correct.
So, you got to pick one. That's the one to pick.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So solid first picks with that. We're gonna go and hit you up, Dunesia. What you got going on over there?
Okay, my first pick came out in 1997. 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element.
That's my alternate. I can mark that one off. That's a solid.
John
pick.
Paul Gaultier did the costumes. You have Bruce Willis kind of acting like he cared, which is hit or miss.
We saw
And
emotion in that one from him. That you're right.
Yeah.
It was a little different.
Gary Oldman, of course, is always great, and Chris Tucker just
One of the best performances by Gary Oldman, in my opinion, as a
Am I the only
way over the top villain.
I mean, and Debo was the president, so
That kind of set the tone
You
for
asked
the movie,
for.
didn't it?
yeah.
So we just not gonna talk about Lilu.
Mila, yeah.
Lilu.
I mean,
Come on now.
Mila, Mila Jovovich, she did a thing.
Come on now. I answer the phone like that.
Yeah.
I answer the phone like that when telemarketers call.
The Lou Dallas multipass. That is actually in a very.
Will, he's doing it again.
right, here we go.
He's doing-
He has something. I'm timing him.
okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. Yeah. I mean, you kind of shrugged off, Lilu for a minute. I was getting a little touchy, but you got some stuff to back it
So,
up.
You can't,
know,
you can't.
These are the only two that I have. So it was
That's
relevant.
fine.
It was
I'll
topical.
take it. All right. So Fifth Element, standing to that.
Just a light pick, but when I think sci-fi, my mind automatically goes to that movie, and it just.
I mean, it's a sci-fi comedy,
Good
so
movie to
it's
watch.
a great movie. It's a great movie. It is. No lie.
All right. I like that pick. Tony, what you got for me?
Well, let me see. For my first pick, I'm going to go more of a dystopian future type vibe because, that's what I like. It has also Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, Christopher Plummer.
Mm-hmm.
Came out. It has a, where is it? A 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 12 Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
That right there. I think I got hooked on the movie because of Brad Pitt and his performance. Because if anybody, really makes you angry, you can always. I, I do that behind my boss's back all the time, just because, just because. But it's the type of movie. It is a time travel type movie. He does time travel, and he does try to go back, to the 90s at the time. And I was gathering information about a plague that went on. He's trying to get the cure or whatever. But it's the acting in itself, and him meeting Brad Pitt and the confusion that ensues after that is just beyond hilarious. Even though it's not supposed to be funny, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 Monkeys on my list for number one pick. Mark it down.
Yeah, that was one of those movies with Brad Pitt that you're like, okay, he's a real actor. Like, he's not just here to be pretty.
Right.
For sure.
Because he was
crazy.
He was sitting down. Yeah. any anarchy that he could do, he did. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, 12 Monkeys, got it down. We're back to you, Sam. Second pick, second round.
So, not a hard one. Get my Rotten Tomatoes up for that. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm trying to figure out which way you're going, because he had a couple that you could do.
Because you could do T2.
Nah,
I'm going exactly
don't do
where
it.
you think I'm going. 1984. I need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
The Terminator got a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, 89% audience score, because some people are stupid. But The Terminator is, without a doubt, in my opinion,
his best movie. Say it.
Yeah.
Say
it. It is.
Absolutely.
It is almost a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little dated now because we've had so much improvement in terms of CGI and things like that. But James Cameron did some groundbreaking stuff then. And it still kind of holds up.
Mm-hmm.
Storyline holds up flawlessly.
Yeah.
And that is amazing. And it's a time travel. So you do have that whole, like, you change something here and it affects that. So it has, all the elements that we're familiar with as far as time travel. We have cyborgs, lots of guns. We've got a strong
explosions.
Female lead in this, as she was kind of the damsel in distress, and then she turns it around there, and and every performance by Linda Hamilton after this in the series, she was just straight badass. So
the next
great villain too.
Yeah. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger probably. Was this the first role where he was the villain? I believe so, because up to that point he had been kind of just the hero, the action hero. So for him to come in and take this role and be the bad guy, very quotable movie, and one of the most iconic lines in cinema. I'll be back. Like, so that's my number 2.
All right. Got you locked down. Terminator.
You could have led with that one.
You could have.
I mean, it's not like Star Wars is.
Star Wars is no slouch either. So I mean,
granted, like Star Wars, I
wasn't gonna say Star Wars,
but it had a higher audience score. So
you got to look at your people you with. Out of everybody here, who was gonna say Star Wars? Think it was coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, it wasn't coming out of mine.
Was it
coming out of yours?
See, is the X-wing hanging up above me, and the whole wall of Star Wars over there. Actually, can you see the Mace Windu lightsaber right there?
The only wing I got here are chicken wings.
Don't
Same.
worry about those wings. Since we got wings, we can go ahead and flap on over to Dunesia and see.
Wait, you gotta
That
give a shout out.
segue.
You gotta give a shout out to Bill Paxton because you know he was in this movie. I mean, this was the start of his career.
Oh, he's a great actor.
That's all I want. That's all.
All right, we flapped on over to me. Okay, so my movie came out in 2002. So on Rotten Tomatoes. Anybody who knows me well, this is in my top 5 movies, period. Just period. So you can like it or you cannot. I don't care.
All right.
I'm just telling you, because
said-
especially you, Tony. I know how you are.
What did I do? It better not be Red Hood.
No. Wrong countdown. Has Christian Bale in it and Taye Diggs. It is called Equilibrium.
Yep.
I love this movie.
Let me take that one off the list.
Something about sci-fi movies that really kind of speak to you and really make you think about stuff. I'm like, what if we didn't have emotions? Like, for real, you know what I mean? It makes you think about that. But the action sequences, Christian Bale fighting in that all white, come on.
Yeah, that was slick. I mean,
And this is another one of those movies where the director actually did the screenplay as well.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie.
And Sean Bean dies.
And Sean Bean definitely dies.
Now, William Fincher is one of those actors who you know his face, but you never know who he is, which is so interesting to me because it's like you try to remember something that he's been in, and you know, this is the first movie that comes to mind whenever I see him. And yeah, we could probably do a whole just Equilibrium is such a great movie.
It is.
All right, Equilibrium.
And
is
Emily
down.
Watson too. She's one of those people you see her, you're like, I know her. But yeah, she did a great job in that movie.
The
All
Gun
right.
Kata.
All right, Tony.
I mean,
Good.
that's a great goddamn movie. I'm mad at
It
you.
is.
I mean, it's a great movie. I mean, we got to give.
That's what I said. I mean, it's on my top 5 movies, period.
And you
It
know
can't
what's
be
crazy?
bad.
about
I'm
that
watching
movie?
it. I own it.
Hey, we're doing it again.
No.
Again.
Just real quick. How did that get a 40 on the tomato meter when everybody I know that's ever seen it loves it?
Well, apparently you only know 40% of the population. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I mean, they only have 90 reviews on it, but user ratings 268,000. So
it's a great
that's
movie.
why we
so
don't
that-
trust Rotten
so-
Tomatoes like that.
Yeah.
all
We
right.
just use them for a little bit of balance because
Yeah.
we can be, judgmental.
Yeah.
All right,
All
Tony.
right.
Come on.
Mine came out in 1982. It has a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 91 audience score. It's got Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Daryl Hannah, Emmett Walsh, and his Blade Runner.
There it is. I knew that was coming.
That had
You
to be
knew-
on somebody's list.
Look, if we're gonna talk about just a true sci-fi movie, then that is Blade Runner. Everything in Blade Runner is science fiction. It's every single thing. You talking about you hunt down Harrison Ford is out here hunting down replicants. Come on, dude. And we remember they tried to make more of these, and it just did not work. They tried another Blade Runner. They tried another replicant movie itself. What was that one? Repo. Didn't work. Ridley Scott took just a thought and put it on screen, and it just was beautiful. You felt like you were in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, everybody should see it, but it's rated 90, so I'm good. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's my number.
great film.
That's it. Blade Runner, 1982. See it. Like Denise say, I don't care.
Got it. Blade Runner's down for End of the second round. All right, Sam, back to you. Third round.
Third round. I guess I'm gonna be a little bit more mainstream here.
You
This
discuss.
movie kind of changed how we watch action movies. Um, 1999,
Hmm?
and another very iconic, highly quotable movie, The Matrix.
I knew it was coming.
So everybody can take that one off your list, because
I didn't.
No, I
Hold
had
on.
that's my alternate because I'm like, somebody's gonna say that for
right. Well,
sure.
see, I didn't expect, I didn't think that I was gonna get Fifth Element. I hoped I would get Equilibrium. I should have known better, because you were. If I didn't say it first, you were gonna get it.
Don't have that on my list.
But yeah, The Matrix. It is 88 tomato meter, 85 audience score. Came out in 1999. It literally changed the way action movies are done. When we saw Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne have a straight up kung fu battle in a dojo,
Hmm.
why couldn't everybody do that in a movie? And literally, after that, everybody has done it in a movie. It wasn't until like sometime later that they had to like really reinvent the way we see action scenes. But for a nice little period of time there, this was it. John Gaeta was the cinematographer, and he literally created a special effect that's referred to as the Gaeta effect. Everybody's familiar with the scenes when he does the lean back bullet
He's
dodge.
dodging the bullets.
When Trinity at the beginning, when she jumps up and the camera does that 360 wrap around, and then she kicks and the guy goes flying. That I have the, it's over there, but I've got the 10 disc Matrix set with the. Can you see it right there? So that's Neo right there. That's Neo right there. That's the 10 disc collector set.
Nerd.
I have down here, we have the Animatrix, like the whole nine.
Oh, Animatrix
And
is dope.
there's like 5 special edition discs just talking about the cinematography in is one whole disc. The action sequences, one whole disc. And I mean, it's so much behind this movie. The Wachowskis, much credit to them. Even more credit to the person who actually wrote The Matrix and The Terminator. That is your homework. I will let you go down that rabbit hole on your own. But
Yeah, rabbit hole.
lot
We
of
don't
credit
do
to
homework.
her.
We don't do homework.
Follow the white rabbit. I'm just gonna,
All right.
that's a
Solid pick in
Matrix
the
segue.
Matrix. And
One thing I loved about the Matrix was also a lot of the religion aspects that were behind it, that, some people kind of miss, but I mean, it just, what a phenomenal movie.
A ton of
We miss
symbolism.
payphones.
It's almost like it's just open to interpretation for whatever you want it to be. And then there's parts of it that are kind of self-explanatory. But we had a whole discussion where we were talking about the meaning of Mr. Anderson
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that he calls Neo Mr. Anderson, the Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving, amazing actor. He calls him Mr. Anderson the entire movie. Not one time does he say Neo. He never refers to him as Neo. Never speaks of him being the one. It's always Mr. Anderson, and so
That's because he was the one.
Yeah, we could go down. Yeah.
like
we
I
can go
said,
down that hole, but again, that's
it
gonna
is
be a
a
very
lot
deep
to
one
unpack.
to dive into.
A
I'm
lot
saying.
to unpack with the Matrix.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying.
We could
So
literally have a whole discussion on that movie.
yeah,
for
That's
sure.
you know what? That's a whole nother book
oh
right
yeah,
there.
so we gonna fill that hole back up and let something else, and we're gonna walk over that hole over to Dunesia. Let's go ahead and get your third pick there.
Okay, my third pick, 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. A lot of people didn't like this movie, but I
What
like
is
this
up
movie.
with you and these picks?
You like Equilibrium, though, so don't do me.
Equilibrium was a good pick. I'm waiting. I'm reserving judgment.
A lot of
Okay.
people didn't like this movie, and I kind of understand why. But for me, like I said, I like when I can unwrap stuff and when there's a hidden message behind the movie, for sure. And so this came out in 2011,
Okay, no, not the one I thought.
and it had Justin Timberlake in it, and it was called In Time.
Yes, I do like that movie.
You
That
can
is
make a
very
face
good
all
movie.
you want, Tony, but
Why are you focusing on me?
because you made a
Because
face.
you're the only one that made
Sam
it.
didn't make a face.
Because I was, as soon as she said Justin Timberlake, I was like, oh,
Yep.
yes, I do
There
like
it
that
is.
movie.
It was a great movie when you look at what they're talking about. You know, they're literally calling out how things are, you know, and you have more because you have more time, which isn't currency. And you spend the whole movie like, well, why can't they just share? And you're like, oh yeah, because that's not how the world is. The world sucks. So um, you know,
Well,
just
damn.
the concept of currency being time, because that is one of the things, you know, we can't prolong our life or anything like that. And you know, it said no matter how much money you have, everybody's burial size, you know, your casket is the same. So to take that element and go, well, what if we could? What if the amount of money that you had prolonged your life? So I like the movie. That's it. And I mean, it's Cillian Murphy. I love him. He's a great actor.
Nice little shout out to Johnny Galecki, who was in it also.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Timberlake actually did a really good job in that movie. Like, you know, like bona fide, like you trying to be a real actor. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, JT, we see you. But I say one of my favorite scenes in that movie is the arm wrestling, because the way you can transfer. Literally, it's like, okay. So for those who haven't seen the movie, and of course, I'm about to sit here and point, forgetting that I encourage people to watch these videos as a podcast and just let them run in the background while you're doing whatever. So if you don't have the opportunity or the time to sit and watch, you can still enjoy all the audio content that we have in all of these, because we always do a pretty good job of describing things. With the movie In Time, they have it almost looks like an LED countdown, and it is on their forearm, and you can look at it at any point, and you see the time literally ticking away. And as you do different things, you go to work, you come home, when you get paid, your paycheck is more time, and you pay your bills with that time. You buy groceries with that time. So there are situations where people literally gamble their time away. And one of the ways that they did that was there was an arm wrestling match, and it's not a traditional arm wrestling the way you would think, like over the top or something, where they're just like, you know, locking up and, you know, try to get it down. But they literally lock wrists, and they're basically trying to pull time from one another.
It's a very very good cinematic when you're looking at it and how they're trying to pull that time and stuff like that. But it's definitely something that you guys got to go watch if you haven't watched it. I definitely encourage you to watch it and check it out and actually see firsthand, because it's going to do a whole lot better when you actually see it as opposed to, you know, trying to explain the whole thing. So it's a great pick, Dunesia. I like that pick.
If you want a short version, just go watch Nickelback Saving Me. It's the same premise. Exact same premise.
That's a good video.
Right. So, all right,
well,
Tony.
She likes the movie, so she's gonna like that video. So there.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
All right,
kind of
Tony.
learning what they like. So
Let me get your number 3.
all right, my number 3, I usually refer to as the original Terminator. I think it was a movie that kind of showed the problem with AI actually taking over. It got a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes and an 89 viewer score. Came out in 1968. Stanley Kubrick did it. It's 2001: Space Odyssey.
Thank you.
Hal, in my opinion, was more. I want to say Hal was more deadly than any Terminator, just of what Hal was capable of. Hal would have been running. He would have been making a Terminator. Well, I should say it, but we'll say he. Um, and as the movie goes on, Hal starts to become sentient. That's basically what happens with any AI. When they become smart, they start to learn, and then they start to evaluate things on their own. And that's what the problem is. You'll set them to do something, and then they'll come behind you and say, you know what, your way doesn't work. My way works better. I'm going to do it my way and force you to do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who have seen this movie don't realize this was over a 2-hour movie. And for the entire 2 hours that you sat down, your eyes were on the screen like, what's going to happen next? Ooh, what's really going on? And especially in that time frame where we didn't have handheld computers that we do now. Everything was about your imagination, and they put it on the screen to where this is something that could actually happen. And that made your mind wonder, like, oh shit, is this really going on? So 2001 Space Odyssey, 1968, before any of us were thought of.
Nice. All right, got that down for you. All right, Sam, you're rolling back around to you for the start of round 4.
So, 1979.
Back.
Yeah, this is one I remember, like as a kid, kind of catching it a little bit later on. This is one of those. Yeah, this is a me pick. I'm just gonna put it out there. Okay, it's a me pick.
Kind of like heavy
And
metal.
all those go with him.
Kind of like heavy metal.
This one's a little bit more. You might be a little bit more familiar with this one. So this isn't just like way left field. But it was one of those things like my brother watched it and liked it, and it was kind of, I always looked up to him, so of course I thought it was really cool. But it had like cool robots. It's a Disney movie, 1979, The Black Hole. Just in terms of sci-fi, even right now today, scientists, that's still a mystery. Like, what's in a black hole? What's on the other side? What happens? Does a black hole actually develop into a wormhole, et cetera, et cetera? So the mystery that kind of surrounds it is there. When you're a kid, robots are cool, even if they do look big and chunky, and you know what I'm saying. They still like do things, and of course with R2D2, that set the standard. So it was like it didn't matter if it moved and it was a robot and it was on the screen. We're all for it. So as a kid, and I do remember like going to Disney World as a kid, and there being like the black hole exhibit and things like that. So that was one of those like you get the warm fuzzies. Black hole. Not the most critically acclaimed movie by any means. But I think for the time, a live action Disney movie, well, even now, live action Disney movies are questionable. So we could kind of.
Very much
Disney
so.
needs to just do animation. But
Mulan.
this one was a 38 tomato meter and only a 45 on the audience score. So, there's not a lot of people who are just like, ugh. But, it's.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I wrote it down, so I'll check it out.
Let me check it out.
Yeah, this one's it's. Anthony Perkins is in it, and that's kind of a big deal. And it's got robots, and if you think back to like television Star Trek, it's like that kind of production level. So I don't want you to,
So that's why people don't like it.
remember that you're watching a movie from 1979. It's a Disney family film. It's a little hokey at times, but I still think it makes my list.
Okay.
All right, so Black Hole for your number 4. Write that down. Dunesia.
Okay, my number 4 pick came out in 2002. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
Had Tom Cruise in it.
Let me go ahead and take that off my list.
Minority Report.
Yep. I knew it.
Talk about a great movie. And as you can see of the theme of my movies, I like movies that make you think. You know, what if we do take away that presumed innocent until proven guilty and just say, we know you're going to do this, so we're going to arrest you?
I mean, technically doing that now. Ooh, that's another story.
Well, that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, just just a great movie. I don't really know what else to say about it. You know, everything that Tom Cruise went through was great, but just the concept of knowing people are going to commit a crime and being able to stop it, and what does that really look like?
Now, just to kind of let me geek this up just a little bit. Hey, what's going on?
Well, my dog joined us. Daughter might as well.
Get out of here.
Mine's right over there. She's sitting on the sofa. We're gonna let her stay there. If I call her, she'll be right in my lap. But Tony, let's geek this up just a little bit. So the preemptive attacks, for those of you who read comics, Minority Report was the inspiration for Civil War II in Marvel Comics.
Yep.
The idea that they could stop threats before they happened because they had a person who could, basically see the future and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it becomes one of those scenarios where it's like, and this is where Dunesia's referring to, like, it makes you think. Certain things happen because everything is cause and effect. And you almost have to wonder if this event would take place if something changed. And rather than just run in and arrest somebody, why not just come to them and be like, hey, that thing you were going to do? Don't do it.
Don't do it.
But no, they don't go there. Instead, they just come right in, arrest, and, the famous line, everybody runs. And so it's like, yeah, if you're accusing me of something I haven't done yet,
that's not fair.
Yeah, because it's dropping a pebble, in a pond. Any one thing could have came up to change your mind that made you not time or made you late or whatever the circumstances in the universe that happened that prevented you from committing that crime, and to not really take that in consideration because these, psychic oracle people said it's going to happen. And of course, the things that happened to Tom Cruise and Sue and all of that. So,
and we all have had thoughts to that level of things that we want to do to somebody, but we never act on. And that's the point that some of the people were making. They said they were just thoughts. How do we know they actually was going to follow through? Something could have stopped them. So that's a good pick. That's good.
All right, I like that. All right, Tony.
All right, so we're gonna go a little. I'm not gonna say recent, but recent for me is 1986. As you know, I'll stay in the 70s.
It's recent for me.
I'll stay in the 70s all day long.
Yeah,
I will. It got a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. It got an 83 audience score. It had a somewhat all-star cast, but it showed the main character that he actually had acting chops, and it's The Fly with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis.
Oh, God, that was a disgusting movie.
But in this movie, Jeff Goldblum acted his tail off.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He went from turning into a man. For those who don't know, Jeff invented a teleporter. And he tested it and it worked. So he was going to test it on himself. Well, when he tested it on himself, a fly got in there with him and it merged them together into one being. And the fly's DNA started to overwrite his, and he started changing to a big, gigantic fly. But he was doing it slowly at first. So he was noticing the enhanced strength, the enhanced senses. He could stick through walls. He was like, oh, I'm superhuman now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to change into where he couldn't digest food. He had to eat food like a fly eats food, which is they vomit on it and suck up the juice.
That
Then he
orange.
couldn't.
Oh.
It's like, I'm like, wait a minute.
And Gina Davis tried to hold it down, but
He tried to hold it down for a man.
there's
I mean,
only
he
so
went
much
from,
you can do.
and they gave a name. He was the Brundle Fly,
Mhm.
and that was him. And at the end of the movie, it was so sad because he was to the point where he was almost 100% an animal, but he still had that much of a human side of him to understand what he was doing and what he was becoming. And he couldn't go on like that. But I mean, this movie, I mean, it touched you if you just watched it and you was like, what? Because then, everybody wants to have some kind of powers.
Mhm.
And he got his, but it came at a cost, which people don't realize that you want something, but what is that going to cost you? And it showed what it cost him. So that is my pick, and I love it.
All right. Got you down for The Fly. With that, we're going to head back to Sam for the final.
And I promise I'll go more recent for my last one. Promise.
Right.
Like
See.
1990.
I don't even think. I think we're gonna stay like 80 somewhere.
1987.
1987 and 0.4.
4 months
November
into 1987. That's well, it's funny you say that because I'm going back.
See?
You only a couple years older than me, okay? So it's like there's a lot of salt in that. There's a lot of salt.
Hey, magic marker, dude. I'm telling you.
Gotta remember that. I may try that one day. Steven Spielberg. I think to this day I cannot eat Reese's Pieces without thinking about.
Take that off my list.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Another one of those movies that will always kind of have that special spot. And if I were just flipping channels and saw that E.T. was on, well, that's what I'm doing for the rest of my day. I'm going to watch it every time it comes on.
A great movie.
It is... I don't really feel like I have to explain E.T. to y'all.
No,
it's... You know what I'm saying?
Drew Barrymore.
If you have not seen E.T., do yourself a favor and see E.T.
It had the toddler Drew Barrymore in it. Come on.
Yeah.
Just a feel-good movie.
Elliot.
I'll be right here. I mean, I bet they sold a lot of speaking spells. A lot of Reese's Pieces got sold.
Mm-hmm.
And
I want to know how many of y'all cried, though.
Oh,
I don't remember crying.
What?
I'll probably cry now if I watch it.
When you thought he was dead? Oh, I boo-hooed.
Let me watch E.T. now, and if I ain't careful, it becomes a real dusty room. I don't be trying to feel like that, but
Nah, it's certain movies that pull at your heartstrings, and that's one of them. Just one of them.
I didn't.
You see.
And again, like I said, I'm very much a kind of a mainstream person. I have, like y'all know, I go off the rails with some picks, but
yes, you do.
Yeah, I know. And until
we enjoy
rails
in conversation, period. But
yeah, that part.
So,
it's the hat.
E.T.
E.T. All right, got you down for E.T. All right, we're gonna phone in Dunesia.
Okay, my last pick, 1993. 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Can you get something in the 80s?
I do not care. It's my last pick, so it's done. Because who doesn't want to live in a world where the only restaurant left is Taco Bell?
See, I knew you was going
to have Wesley Snipes, Sylvester Stallone, Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Listen here now. I don't want to live in a world with just Taco Bell because I'm lactose intolerant.
I do.
But the food wars, man. The food wars.
I'd rather, you know what?
Taco Bell.
You know
if
what?
they're going to make a movie, they need to make a movie about the food wars that happened for Demolition Man. I need to
Oh,
know
don't get
how.
me started.
I need to know how Burger King lost.
No, I want to know about the 3 shells. Somebody got
I
to
asked
tell me about
everybody.
the 3
Somebody got to tell me
shells.
about those. How do you work those?
If I don't learn about the 3 shells, it's gonna be a problem.
Burger King lost because they nuggets suck. All right.
Hey, watch your mouth now.
The chicken fries are straight, but them nuggets is not. What's up? Like, bro.
I know, but they're only $1, so I'm
Right, so you can't be
You
mad
get
for
10
being
for a
cheap.
dollar.
Hey, so I'll go to Taco Bell and get me a taco for $1.
Now
right?
it's like 8 for
Yeah.
a dollar. Have you had the Burger King taco?
Why
No.
would I do that?
They
But
have
Taco
a
Bell's
taco
always
now?
across the street. Yeah. No.
Taco Bell is
Usually in
literally
the
walking.
vicinity. True.
Demolition Man and stuff like that, and the mystery of the 3 shells is still going to be out there plaguing us. So if any of our viewers got some theories and stuff for them shells, by all means, I would love to hear it at some point.
I just want to know why everybody got so non-violent, because you can't breed that out of some people. That's just not possible. Somebody's always gonna be violent for some reason. Everybody was non-angry at anything. It was like, no, player, that's not how we work.
Yeah, that's why everybody was locked up. That me and you would be in there waiting to get out. So
We wouldn't get out. What do you mean waiting?
what do you mean? I'm getting out. I'm
No,
not giving up. I'm getting out.
You frozen. How you getting out?
I'm getting out.
Oh, Lord.
Here you go again.
Yeah, it is what it is. Like I'm doing what I do. So
Oh, you better not leave me in there.
you come. I need backup.
Penny.
I think we could just take over the world. Just me and you. We take that whole world over.
I'm positive. Make it happen.
All right, we
All
got
right.
track.
Number 5. Tony.
For me, it's my
Yeah.
turn. Okay.
What you got? You going?
So I'm coming up to 2014.
Wow, that's really recent.
That was a jump.
My
It's
heart.
because
Ooh, what movie is this?
I
Hold
know.
hold on, let me go back to one of my older movies.
No. I'm happy. No. Legitimately, I'm happy because I feel like there's a good chance I've seen this. No, I'm just playing.
No, you have. It's got Clive Owens in it, Michael Caine, Julianne Moore is
Ooh,
in it.
yeah.
Yep.
It is one of the most underrated movies of our time. It got a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes, but it got an 85 audience score. It made only 35 million. And it's Children of Me.
That was on my,
This movie
voucher.
was
My wife loved that
so freaking good. You talking about no woman could have babies. None of them.
Mhm.
The last child died. And then all of a sudden, woman's pregnant. Oh, now she's the golden calf. And everybody's like, by the way, she's black. So
Yep. I like that.
And so now Clive Owens is like, we got to protect you against everybody, because now everybody's after this person. And you're talking about, I don't know how this movie just didn't make money. Because
I don't think they advertised it well.
I think the advertising.
I don't think
was
people
low on it.
understood what the movie was about, because even when I went to go see it in the theater, I didn't really understand what it was about till I was watching the movie, and I was like, "Wow, this is dope." It was suspenseful.
It has so many.
Thought-provoking.
It was just deep.
Great.
It was
movie.
everything about it, because Clive was fighting his own demons while he was trying to protect somebody against everybody else. And I'm like, Jesus, it has so many storylines that was like, okay, we're gonna pull you over here. Nope, come back and watch this one. Nope, come back here. I was like, oh my God. Well, I watched that and I was like, no, I gotta watch this again because I know I missed something. I know I did.
It's a phenomenal movie.
So yes, 2014. I told y'all I was gonna do it. Don't question me again.
All right.
My only thing to say about that, the last 30 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
You're like this.
You're like, oh, come on,
talk
really?
about edge of your seat. Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great
So
movie.
I figured I'd throw you for a loop with that one. I'm surprised y'all didn't know, because I made a post about it.
I didn't see the post. I was not.
Sorry.
You know,
It talked about Star Wars and then this.
Oh, okay. If it said Star Wars first, then I definitely wasn't looking at it. So.
Yeah, that's
fine.
It did.
I saw the post because you were talking about Star Wars, and I thought I was going to have to come in and say something, but you segued and
so
you tricked me. You made me read.
I did. It was.
You got him, Tony. Freaking, you was acting sus, and he was like, "What's going on over here?" And
Yep.
Like,
and he was like, well, but once he read it, he understood.
Yeah. Now,
All right. Sam, you got any alternates you want to say?
any honorable mentions and stuff that didn't make your list or just barely missed the cut? Freaking. Everybody's got about 30 seconds. Rattle them off. Whatever you got.
Well, some honorable mentions for me are going to be AI from Steven Spielberg, the Star Trek reboot, um, um, we'll go with those two. There's more, but I didn't write them all down. But yeah, there were. I know you were
Okay.
like super
Let me
organized.
all right.
This was
freaking
one I
cool.
knew I could do top of the head, and so it was okay.
All
But
right. Freaking cool. All right, Denisha, what you got? What's your
I got
all my other
Johnny
alternates got
Mnemonic.
mentioned. I'll say that.
Yeah. Johnny Mnemonic, Time Cop, Virtuosity, and Lawnmower Man.
Ooh, Virtuosity. That's a good call. Johnny
Okay.
Mnemonic, I considered that one.
It wasn't a great movie, but it
Right, that's the
was.
Not.
thing.
You know?
It's very sci-fi,
It's
Yeah.
but
Keanu, so it wasn't a great movie.
It wasn't a great film. I think it only got 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm surprised it made it that high.
They got a little
it
higher
wasn't
than
a
that.
great movie, but it was.
No, it wasn't.
We're talking about for sci-fi.
No, it wasn't.
No, because that okay. See, the thing about what makes that movie really good is it's the early stages of the internet when it came out. People were still like kind of conceptualize what it is, what it means, and they had a really nice visual of like diving into the internet. I mean, not quite like a little bit more advanced than Max Headroom, but it was pretty good. It was Dolph Lundgren as the villain in that was just
Yeah. That's not what I'm saying go watch, but yeah.
yeah.
No, don't watch
there was
it.
some
Don't watch
misses
it.
in that.
Really
but-
noted.
Don't watch it.
All right.
But
Tony.
Okay.
Virtuosity is good. If you haven't seen that, I will say
Virtuosity is good.
Yes, I agree with Virtuosity.
Okay, so I got a couple because I'm great.
All right.
Got
Give me.
Alien, the original Alien.
Thank you. Somebody
That's
said
the only
something.
one that
That
matters.
was on my horror.
That-
Nope.
No,
That was my
The-
first cut. That was
the
my first cut.
the sequel was freaking good for what it was, like for actually creating a sequel. So I won't count.
It
Yes,
was-
Second round.
Aliens
It was.
with the S. The sequel was great, but
Great.
Alien, the original, set the precedent.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you go
It
back
did.
and you listen to our top 5 horror, Tony, we have a whole little moment where I put
We
that
did.
down for my horror, and he called it sci-fi, and I was like, but it was horror. That's
It's
why
sci-fi.
that didn't.
It's
make
a
my
horror
list tonight.
sci-fi. It literally crosses both genres and stuff like that. But
But
Sci-fi.
all my horror
what it
were
is.
horror only. So go. But go ahead, continue.
So then I got Iron Giant just because
Mhm.
I love that.
Animation.
Then I
Yep.
go back to 1968 again. And I say Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston.
I was this close.
I mean,
was this close.
But it's one that I like that I don't think a lot of people saw. It's a Jim Carrey movie. It's called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
Oh
Mind.
yeah.
Oh, that is a
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Okay.
man.
I wasn't sure that if people have heard of that, and I didn't want to go into a Sam like tirade about it, but
Oh
it's
no, that is.
that's one of the movies where a lot of people, when you say Jim Carrey, they think, oh, haha, comedy. But then they also forget that he did horror before and he does sci-fi.
Yeah.
So that one, I
He
think
was great in that movie.
I think that movie showed what people were willing to give up and then realizing what they gave up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, just a quick summary, him and his girlfriend broke up. She went to go get memories of rest, blah, blah, blah. Then he was like, oh, she's doing it, I'm gonna do it too. And then it just travels down this road and shows what those decisions cost them. And then they start regretting stuff. Just go watch it. That one was on my list, and I was like, maybe. But if I'd have known y'all knew about it, I would have just said it.
Oh, that.
All
You just
All
said
right.
something, and that sparked an idea. Go ahead.
Oh,
Continue.
That was it.
Good idea.
Oh, that was it.
All right.
Okay.
That was
That
it.
All right.
There
Well,
Yay.
is.
That was pretty solid picks and stuff like that. I like the alternates and stuff like that. I had to moderate this round, so I didn't get to participate, so like that. But freaking, I'm gonna spit a couple that came off my head as y'all were talking and stuff like
Uh-oh.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
that. Again, these are more of my favorites than they
Starship
are freaking
Troopers.
popular, so like that. Starship
Mhm.
Troopers is one, definitely
Mhm.
one. You know me, and so
No.
like that.
That's why
No.
I said it.
So Starship Troopers was on my list, so like that.
Yep.
This one, kind of scares a Clockwork Orange
Yep.
with Stanley
When
Kubrick.
he
so,
said 2001, I immediately thought of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this A little lesser known one and stuff like that. Moon, stuff like that. Sam Rockwell back in the day. It's an older movie and stuff like
Oh,
that.
was he like an astronaut?
Yes, it's a movie
Okay.
that makes you think, and I
Yeah.
really enjoy. Like you really had to like dial in and know what's going on. So if you haven't seen that, definitely take a peek at that. Um, I'm gonna throw this out there so with that mainly for popularity. This is not one of my favorites, but I think it deserves a mention somewhat. So with that, which is Avatar and stuff like that. It made a lot of money and stuff like that, but
That's just
again, it wasn't
Pocahontas in space with blue people.
more or
It's
less
Fern Gully.
It's
of that.
Pocahontas.
Uh,
It's Pocahontas.
so back on the list, the last two would be Mad Max.
Hmm.
That
No, it's got to be Beyond Thunderdome, Mad Max. It's got to be that one. That's the
You
We're
better
not
can't
one.
be doing his pick. Let him.
That's the
Look,
better
no,
one.
it is the better one and stuff like that. But as
It
again, like
is.
I kind of make that as a series. Like Mad Max had to get started and stuff like that, and you can't have a good sequel without having the groundwork and stuff for the first one
Right.
and stuff like that. Which and my last one will go is one of my all time favorites, which is Back to the Future.
I thought somebody was going to mention it. I was kind of shocked that nobody did, but
Yeah. So I mean, those are just a couple that popped off stuff like that.
I have that on my nostalgia list. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good movie and stuff, and it
oh
stands.
yeah, we do have that, don't we? I have mine.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that, but no, I liked all the picks and stuff like that. Definitely a lot for everybody watching. So that if you haven't seen some of these movies and stuff, you should definitely check them out. I'll rattle them off for you again real quick. With Sam,
They
we got
blew it up.
Star
They
Wars.
blew it up.
We got Star Wars for Sam, particularly Episode 5, Terminator, The Matrix, The Black Hole, and E.T. the Extraterrestrial. For Dunesia, we come in with The Fifth Element, Equilibrium, In Time, Minority Report, Demolition Man. And for Tony, 12 Monkeys, Blade Runner, 2001, A Space Odyssey, The Fly, and Children of Men. So by all means, if you haven't checked out some of these movies and stuff like that, look, grab some popcorn, take a seat, and start catching up with that because
Blue
you're
in
missing
the
a lot of good
Mist.
stuff. In the mist. So this is stuff out here. So hey, we're glad everybody was able to tune in and watch this and let us know your picks in the comments so like that. Let us know some of the stuff that you think got left out. And we definitely want to see, where your head was at with some of these movies. Sam, you got anything
Doing
else?
that.
Yes,
Every
yes,
time
because
I
you
do
know it's
so.
killing me.
Yep, go ahead.
Robin Williams, The Final Cut, 2004. I will
Oh
take
my
something
God.
off my list if I have to put that one
Bicentennial
on.
Man.
I would have taken something off my list if I would remember that movie.
Bicentennial Man.
Robin
And-
Williams was terrific in that movie. He was creepy, but he was great. The cutting of people. Oh my God. Great
When
movie.
you said Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, that reminded me of this movie. And shame on me for not having remembered it on its own merit. But I will, you know what? Drop the black hole and put Final Cut in its place.
Yeah. Great movie.
Forget my nostalgia. See Final Cut instead.
Yeah.
There you
And
go.
if nobody's seen it, what happens is when you're born, well, some mostly rich people, you have an implant and it records your whole life. When you die, these cutters cut together for your funeral moments of your life. And so to be a cutter, you can't have an implant. And so it just, yeah. Wow.
That one episode of Black Mirror,
Great
The Complete
movie.
History of You.
Yes.
It's
That's
that,
it.
but it's one person and their job is to go in, and if you did something that you don't want people to know about, we take that out. We take that out, and that just go see this movie.
Great
Go
movie.
see, find the Final Cut. Matter of fact, let
Yeah.
me see where you can
God,
get
Robin
the Final
Williams
Cut.
is so tormented.
It was good. And you think about his name too, Alan Hackman. Like
Yeah.
Hackman. Like
Mhm.
you can't get
Mhm.
any more, like that's your job. You use in there. So definitely good stuff. So that I know I think it is on Prime Video.
Is it the Final Cut?
The
Yeah.
Final Cut.
Yeah.
And this
Great movie.
one, just because it came to mind, oddly enough, I think it's one of those movies where because Robin Williams was doing something different, didn't get the same, kind of like you were feeling like with Eternal Sunshine, like with that one. This, Insomnia, and
1 hour photo.
One
these,
hour
all
photo.
these movies right around the same
Wow.
time.
I'm sorry, it just pops in.
And
Yeah.
It does that.
so this was one of those like
God,
people
he was
kind of
so
reacted to it
creepy
a
in One
little
Hour
differently
Photo.
because it wasn't what you expected. It's not what you
Mhm.
want or what you think. So a lot of people are like, oh, let's go see Robin Williams.
Nah, player, that's not it.
You know, and they were just shocked and appalled and they couldn't believe. And I think that's why it may not have done as well, but it is such a fantastic movie. Um, just look it up, find it, go see it.
It's
The
on
Final
Amazon
Cut.
Prime. If you got Prime, you can watch it right now. Not a problem. So
And just know Jim Carrey did a horror movie too called Number 23 that didn't get a lot of.
That was cool. Had me
It was
looking for that number
That one was
everywhere.
really good.
that one made he did something outside of his whole that was his first time outside of being the silly man. That was him, and I was like, okay, he made me think he was fucking crazy. He did. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No. That's if
This
we're
was
gonna do this open format and just start spitting movies, that'll take too long. So
that's what I'm saying.
all
we're
right.
gonna get
So,
down to our list,
Because
and
I'll
we're
go
gonna
over there
come
and just
back.
start running alphabetically.
Right, we're gonna come back with the list and join us on our next one. We will let you know what the next one is. I don't think we've got a couple of categories left.
hopefully, I'm not moderating.
If you
You
can
will
moderate,
do
then
what
by
you're
all
told.
means. Who knows? We may do.
We
You
know
know
you can do
what?
it
We
over
may
there.
do something. No, I know. We'll save that one for another day. Okay, great. So we hope
Wait.
you've enjoyed this.
No, I got to throw one more out there.
Go ahead.
Just-
Go ahead.
This is for David. David couldn't be here. This is for David. Akira.
Yes.
You want to talk
Okay.
sci-fi? Akira.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotta get something.
It got called an anime, as did Iron Giant, but it's so good it needs to be on two lists. We'll put it on
I mean,
two lists.
it technically does fall under sci-fi.
It does. Absolutely. Dystopian, neo-Japanese, yeah, everything. It's all in there.
All right,
But,
now we can close out. I'm good.
We hope you've enjoyed this one. Of course, this is Grown A Geeks. This is our top 5. Make sure to scan the QR code so that you can join us on Facebook, be a part of the group, and come and have these same conversations with us there. The other QR code down in the lower corner there, that goes directly to the YouTube page. You probably found the YouTube page, and that's where you're watching this video. Make sure you click the like. Make sure you click the subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell so you can know whenever we upload more videos. We are Grown A Geeks. I'm Sam. With me tonight was Tony, Dunesia, and Will was moderating. We thank
Allegedly.
you, and we will see you later. Peace.